But first, a longer-term story, maybe more profound. Law and order is breaking down in the largest state in this country, California. The mayor of Oakland, Libby Schaaf, warned illegal immigrants ahead of a planned federal raid that allowed them to flee. And now 3 of those who did flee, all Mexican nationals, have been arrested for newly committed crimes that include robbery, DUI, and spousal abuse. All of this could have been avoided, of course, were it not for Libby Schaaf, the mayor of Oakland. She says she did nothing wrong. Watch.
And while I am very committed to being a law-abiding citizen, I feel confident that my sharing this information, because I did not receive it through official channels, is legal, and frankly, it's my ethical obligation. Residents should know that they do not have an obligation to open their doors if an ICE official knocks.
Joe Alioto Verniz is an attorney. He's running for San Francisco DA, and he joins us tonight. Joe, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So 2 of these guys were wife beaters. What would you say to their wives?
2 of the guys that were arrested one of the guys had been convicted.
That is correct, and
domestic
another has been charged subsequently for physically abusing his spouse after the mayor of Oakland allowed him to flee detention. So his wife was injured, according to police. What would you say to her?
Well, the bigger question is this. We are a law of nations, right? So if there is a lawful order to keep somebody or to hand somebody over to ICE, there is no evidence that any sanctuary city in the world, or in the United States rather, has not followed through with that lawful order. ICE is following up with these detention orders. They're called detainers, and the problem is that these detainers are voluntary. They're not lawful orders, and so it's a little inflammatory to say that, oh, we're just handing these people over. If there were lawful orders, if there was better cooperation between the sheriff's department, then yeah, you're right. You would have.
But what you're not describing what actually happened. What happened is the mayor of Oakland warned people, affirmatively warned them, so they could evade detention by federal immigration authorities. 3 of them, at least, went on to commit other crimes during the time that they would have been detained. They were warned by her, and one of them beat his wife. And so, among the many questions I have is, what would you say to her? She wouldn't have been beaten if the mayor of Oakland hadn't done that.
Tucker, there is no evidence that these people actually received the information that the mayor put out. There were 800 people that they were looking for. 232 were actually arrested. Now, I served on the Fugitive Recovery Enforcement Team for the City and County of San Francisco when I was with the police department, and 30% is really good. I mean, you would ask anybody that is on any of those
There's no evidence. Would you? So would that
really
be your
good.
answer? Would that be the answer to the wife? It's not. There's no evidence they heard what the mayor said. I mean, the truth is, the mayor did warn these people, whether they heard it or not. You're right. We don't know. But is that the risk we're willing to take? I mean, what do you think of that? They committed crimes. They would have been detained were it not for Libby Schaaf. That's something you're happy to defend?
No. What I'm defending is due process. Everybody is entitled to due process. The 14th Amendment, unfortunately for ICE, says that, you know, even people that are here unlawfully are entitled to due process.
But so that doesn't. But that's a separate question. This is the mayor, quite apart from that question. Oh, is it really? So she warns them. She says, in effect, flee so you don't get caught. She has no legal or moral obligation to do that. She did that for political reasons, and this is the effect. People got away and went and committed other crimes. It's not about due process. It's about, should elected officials be warning people so they don't get arrested by the feds? That's insane, most people would say. You don't think it is?
Look, the better question is, should these cities be cooperating with the feds? And under certain circumstances, I absolutely believe that they should be. And when there's a violent criminal, yes, there should be better cooperation between the feds. You know, you'll find that a lot of these police departments, including San Francisco, has police officers that are embedded in the federal task forces within the city. We do it for terrorism. We do it for other issues.
But these guys had priors.
For some reason, this immigration issue... No, I get it. I absolutely get it. And
okay, so just to be clear, you're not
been convicted. These people should be arrested.
Okay.
They should be given their due process. If they're convicted, they should serve their sentences and sent out of the countries. Absolutely.
So maybe Democrats in the state shouldn't warn them before the cops come. That's it. I mean, you know, we can have lots of debates about federal immigration law, but I think we both agree you shouldn't be telling criminals, get out of town before you get busted. Here's the other question. It's not just about immigration.
Definitely not violent criminals. That's
when
for
they
sure.
were, actually. Armed robbery. As you said, one of those guys had a prior conviction for wife beating. I thought we were on the side of women here. Apparently not. But let me ask you this. Well, every illegal alien who's working in the state of California, if he's working for a company, is by definition committing fraud with the ID he's using. He's using fake documents. That's a felony. Is that not a big deal? It seems like a big deal post 9/11 to me. Is that a concern for you as someone running for DA, that someone's using fake documents, identification documents?
Well, listen, if it's a violation of federal law, the federal enforcement should definitely take over.
No, it's not a violation of California law. Wait, hold on. It's not a violation of California law to use a fraudulent ID for the purposes of getting a job or doing anything else. That's cool in California. I can do that.
Well, actually, in San Francisco, if you are not a U.S. citizen, you can get a California ID. So you don't have to use fraudulent IDs for your job.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do, because you need to produce a Social Security number, and if you're here illegally, you can't do that. No, you can't get a federal Social Security number.
You can't produce a Social Security number that is accurate or reflective.
That is true. You can use a fraudulent one, and every one of the. Okay, but that's not a problem for you. You feel like, hey, hands off. Someone's using a stolen ID, committing identity theft, a fake federal document in California. It's like, you know what? It's not our business. Is that what you're saying?
No, identity theft is an entirely different subject. But federal immigration enforcement or federal Social Security law is not the priority of San Francisco.
Apparently not.
Or the San Francisco
Okay, well, I go there a
office.
lot, and I'm going to think through. I'm going to call you and find out what laws I can break as an American citizen. Not many, I'd bet. Not as many as the illegals get to, it doesn't seem like.
That's not true. You know, I understand you're a local boy from here in San Francisco anyway. When does the prodigal son come back home?
I don't know if I dare. Joe, good to see you tonight. Thank you.
Good to see you too, Tucker.